Okay.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, this meeting is being recorded.
Okay.
Got it.
Just if you can tell me a bit about yourself and how you first got into art.
Hi, my name's Melanie McCollin Walker. I am an artist based in Tasmania. I feel as if I got into art like right at the start of my life in some ways. When I was quite young and still living in Barbados, I think that's where my love of art and drawing started. I think sometimes art has a way of expressing things or giving you a voice that you may not normally, to say things that you may not normally be able to say for yourself, or to represent you in a way that goes beyond who you are as a person. I just love the tangibility of it. I'd have to say, art is a relatively male-dominated industry. So coming in as a Black female from Barbados, I have been faced with a few challenges of acceptance, especially at the very start of my career. Quite often you're dismissed as just being a hobbyist, so they then, as a result, don't take you very seriously. It's just getting past those perceptions of, I've been in spaces where I've been exhibiting and people look at the work and assume that it was by a white male, for example. But I think you definitely have to work a little bit harder to be taken seriously if you're female or if you're, a cultural minority. But I definitely think it's worth it, especially if it inspires, someone who may look at my work who may not fit into the traditional norms of what creative might be in a particular sphere. I'm hoping that it might inspire color and women to just give it a go. It doesn't matter.
Hi, welcome back to vlog number 8. Can't believe it's vlog number 8 now. What you just watched was my video portrait. After heaps and heaps of people trying to interview different people and a lot of cancelling or not working out, I ended up doing my mum, which was actually worked really well in my favour, because I think her story is really interesting, and I was really grateful that she got the time to let me interview her, which was good. I think for me, the thing I found most successful about my work was the way I was able to layer the visual and audio layers. Doing the audio project a couple of weeks ago taught me the importance of creating holistic soundscapes. So with this project, I tried my best to apply that knowledge. For example, in my first draft, I had included the Super 8mm overlay for some of the older clips to give it the archive footage feel. However, watching it back, I considered also adding in a sound effect, almost as if the film was being played on an old style projector. I also played around with colour grading in the project more, exploring the power of black and white in conjunction with slight tweaks to some of my footage, especially because a lot of it was filmed through Zoom. It often looked quite washed out. Another successful aspect for me was also the amount of research I did. In large part, I was inspired by Sarah Polley's Stories We Tell. Even though I was interviewing my mum, I still wanted to focus on her career, and I feel that Polley's documentary really had the balance between being domestic and comforting, but also analytical of her family's history. However, don't think I'm quite on that level yet. There were also many elements that were quite problematic. For one, my editing. I don't think I'm in any means a great editor, and my software on my laptop definitely don't go along well. So throughout the editing process, my laptop would often stop displaying the playback, which meant I almost had to edit by instinct, which was an interesting test of intuition as an editor, but also did become slightly painful after a while. But aside from technological issues, I also feel that my piece could have taken on a slightly more interesting journey. I think something I need to reflect on in myself, whether I could have asked different questions to my mum, or perhaps had a different soundtrack that went through different emotions throughout. So for example, the Runner short film by Matin Rocklick and Ivan Gormley. A key learning discovery I made though regarding the creative possibilities of producing an interview portrait like this one was the importance of building rapport with the interviewee. I had a little head start in that regard since my interviewee was my mum, but in contrast, I've done interviews in the past with relatively random strangers, and it was interesting to see the difference in emotion that is elicited from both. As Michael Rabiger says in the Week 10 reading, a documentary film is the sum of relationships that you and your crew forward with participants participants and those they negotiate with each other. The reading goes on to state that our identities are not fixed and can change throughout, depending on our interactions with others, and thus this impacts the prevailing mood of the documentary or interview portrait. I enjoyed playing around with the natural openness my mum had about sharing her experiences, as it provided a raw and heartwarming interview that I hadn't done before. But it also showed me how our unique and individual reactions with our interviewees can have a diverse impact on the creative and directorial direction you can take the interview. A core lesson that I learnt during my production process was not to dismiss or prolong any of the hundreds of steps it takes to get to the final product. I think in the past I've started the project assuming that it was going to go from nothing to my final draft, but with this project I tried hundreds of things, researched and watched other media before getting to the final product, and it could still be improved. To develop as a media practitioner, I feel like this matters because pushing yourself to try and experiment is the only way you'll discover things you might not have considered prior.
I guess that goes back again to that craftsman mindset that we looked at a couple of weeks back, at not what the world can offer you, but what you can offer the world. And I think that's something I've really been trying to channel throughout my creative process. Even if it's not reflected in the final product, I think it's important that I try to apply that throughout, just to try to, improve and to try different things.
I know I can be quite a stubborn creative with everything decided before I even start, but I found the thing that I liked most about this piece were the ones that I did at 2 a.m, just sort of kind of tinkering around with it.
So yeah, there you have it. That was vlog number 8. That was my video portrait. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, I will see you for vlog 9.